On today's episode, we recap the Ranger series and preview the Red series. You're listening to the Bucko Banner podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Scotty, cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Or the steak by the plates.
Adam, we are back and we have a new layout. I'm
Look
kind
at
of like
this.
tripping up. This is so official.
Look around.
This is crazy.
You got the logo up here. Shout out Just Baseball in the corner. Our handles are down there. Check it out.
So
This is
stock our socials. Like
this is legit, man. I
tell you
feel
what.
I feel a little confused. It's just
Yeah.
it's so new. We've been just slumming it
on
since
Zoom.
I mean, it hasn't.
They
been
look
that
good
bad.
on Zoom too, to be honest with you. Like with the logo in the middle of our screens, like
Yeah.
it looked good. But man, this is official. You got the Clemente Bridge in the background. Got a little rundown.
Oh yeah.
So,
Shout out to Just Baseball for putting this together. Everybody's been super helpful, and there's more coming.
yeah.
There is more on the way. So this is just the beginning. Scott, less than ideal series.
Yeah. Again, a one-run game here to close it out on Sunday, but less than ideal series. In away in Texas against the defending World Series champions, we could have won off. You can make an argument that they could have won the series,
Sure.
but you're not going to end the season on a high note, losing. In order to reach that 500 mark, like they need to win like almost every series, and to get above that, they need to do even more than that. So time's ticking, but hey, right now I think I'm just looking for improvements, good baseball. Looking forward to some call-ups. I'm at that stage. Hey, at least we're at that stage on August 21st and not June 21st. So.
Sure. Yeah. Look at the bright side. I'm going to stop saying. I'm probably going to say it next time we record that we should have won the series, or we had it, or we just don't. Right? You got to just kind of take it for what it is at this point. The Pirates can't win. They just don't win games. They're not good enough. That's okay, as long as we realize that, and as long as those issues are taken care of. The main issue has been what, Scott?
Offense,
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of main issues, but like offense, I would say has been the issue most of the season.
Offense has been the biggest one. Here's another one that concerns me. I mean, yes, they're going to have to add bats. You're going to lose Taylor, Grandal, Rowdy. Not that those guys are, contributing to. They're not the cream of the crop, but think about the back end of the bullpen right now.
Yeah.
You have Aroldis Chapman, who is not coming back. I would be shocked.
No, I don't think he is.
I would be absolutely shocked. David Bednar blew another save today. I think he's given up one run in like his past 9 outings. He's given up one run in 7 of them.
Tom Holderman's on the IL.
Holderman has looked bad. He's on the IL. That's kind of an issue, right?
I don't think it's crazy to ask the question, who's our closer next year? Because the obvious, I think if you ask that to Sheldon or anyone, obviously, they're not going to come out in public and say it's not going to be Bednar, right? But it's a legitimate question. I think we've got some guys emerging in Nicholas and Majinski. Get Dari Moreta back next year. You've got to anticipate them adding in through free agency, trying to buy low on a reliever. Is Bednar the best guy for the job? And is he going to get that ramp up before next season? I don't know. And I'll keep going back to this. My last point. I don't think they did him any favors, and I'm not a big fan of this method of when guys are struggling, keep throwing them in that high leverage situation, because everyone's different, right? So that's one aspect of it. But you could end up doing more damage than good there mentally baseball's a mental sport, like 90% mental. And some guys really struggle with the mental aspect. And I don't know how Bednar deals with it, but, you know, being a closer is not an easy job. There's stress from that job. And throwing him in those high leverage situations where he's failing over and over again is, I don't think is productive. Like we saw the Diamondbacks, I brought this up on a previous episode. They moved Paul Sewald to a lower leverage situation, and they had other guys step up in that close role until he figured his shit out. I think they should have done that with Bednar. Now he had a good couple months after that bad stretch in the beginning, but like it's not been a good season overall.
Oh no, by any means.
So
It's been terrible. I mean, if you're putting it against quite literally all-star seasons that he's had, he at one point you could consider him one of the most dominant closers in the game, at least like a top 5 guy. It's just not that anymore. There are options, I think, internally. I think Kyle Nicholas, you've mentioned it a million times. He's so gross.
I'm taking that victory lap, man. Both of us, but like I
mean,
can't
you've been
tell
on
you.
it. I mean, from the beginning, it was hard for a lot of people because the control was not there. But if you recognize that he has crazy stuff and he finds out how to harness that, and it seems like he has.
And he's, gotten really close with Jared Jones and Paul Skeens, who are both dogs. Like I think that's something that people aren't talking about enough. Like I think he feeds off of them.
Yeah.
So
Andrew Destin, when we had him on the pod, said he had the best stuff in the pen.
Yeah.
I agree. I think Majinski could play a bigger role next year in those 7, 8, 9s, assuming that he comes back healthy and he leaves off where he when he got injured, right? Because he was a little shaky to start the season. It's going to be up in there. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of what ifs. Not a lot of certainty.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, something we're going to be talking about a lot once the season's over. Once we kick it into the off season and free agency opens, we're definitely going to be probably exploring the reliever options and what this team does. But until then, we got one more month of baseball, man. A little bit over a month of baseball. We had some moves this week, roster moves, a couple. I'm going to run through those real quick, and then we can get into our game recaps. First, we recalled Hunter Stratton from AAA. And welcome back, Hunter. And we selected the contract of outfielder, first baseman, Billy, not Cook, McKinney. Which, hey, for what it's worth, I like Billy McKinney. He's been
solid.
Yeah, he's had a solid career.
The two games that he's been in?
Yeah. He's had a solid career as a backup or a quad A guy, I guess you could call him. He's a first-round pick, was selected before Aaron Judge, notoriously. The Yankees apparently wanted him over Judge, and Judge was their fallback option. Funny story.
I've seen a lot more fallback options.
Yeah. So they also placed Ke'Bryan Hayes on 10-day IL. Is this the last we see of Ke'Bryan Hayes in the Pirates jersey?
Let's talk about it real quick.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Something wasn't right from the very beginning of the season. The defense is still there. Let's admit it. It wasn't Gold Glove season. He's not going to win the Gold Glove this year. But he was good, but it wasn't quite him. And then obviously the bat has been atrocious. How much of that are you attributing to him having a bad back? And we've seen back injuries be career enders for a lot of guys, man.
Yeah, and he's young, man. It's really scary and concerning. I think if it raises red flag for you, I don't blame you. He's still young. I think a good part of it is related to the back. I think there's external issues too. I think it's a little bit up here. So I think it's a multitude of things, right? The guy hasn't been in the right headspace since May. Like he just hasn't been since maybe the second week of the season.
Yeah, it's frustrating when you're not playing well. I mean, people were talking about him being a dark horse MVP candidate in spring training. If you go back to spring training, you remember the power was there. He was lifting the ball. He wasn't hitting it into the ground. He was hitting for average power. I mean, granted, it's spring training, but coming off a Gold Glove year, you think maybe this is where he puts it all together. And then it just doesn't happen. That's got to be such a buzzkill.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It is a buzzkill, and I'm sure it's weighed on him. You can just see it on his face in the dugout. Like, he is not enjoying his time in the big leagues right now. And it's sad to see, because being a former player, knowing how, not a professional player, obviously, but like knowing how the mental side of the game can impact you, it's a tough, man. It's tough. So yeah, I don't know if we'll see him again this season. Hopefully we do for a little bit, but he was placed on the 10-day IL with that back issue. And then we also DFA'd Ryder Ryan. As we know, he has exhausted his options.
Our sweet prince.
Our sweet prince.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. As soon as Russell Wilson throws that first tutty, we're going to get a let's ride, and Ryder Ryan's going to get called up. And it's just going to be a beautiful day in Pittsburgh.
Oh, God. Oh, God. All right, Scott, let's go through this recap real quick. Monday, they took a 4-3 loss. All the offense was generated by Corey Seager on 2 home runs. Other than that, Luis Ortiz, not terrible, not the best, but he gave us 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned, only 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He has a 3.56 ERA, and he had 9 whiffs on the day, 57 strikes on 92 pitches. He had a really healthy mix. I mean, I'm always a big fan of this, especially for back of the end rotation guys, of having a healthy mix of 3 to 4 pitches. Through the 4-seam 35 times, the cut 25 times, sink 16, and the slider 16. It was working. I mean, he had a lot of punch outs. I mean, how much more can you ask from Luis Ortiz? You just got to back him up. Santana and Beeks were in the bullpen. Offense was a Triolo 3-run home run, who has made a slight adjustment. And they talked about it all series. I think he's gotten a little bit wider with his stance. I'll say this, he's having more competitive at-bats than he was before.
I will say, having a Triolo in this lineup, a good Triolo and an IKF and the other guys that we know that we have, is huge. Triolo's like year has been disappointing, no doubt. And he was someone that I was really high on the beginning of the season, given his bat the ball skills. They have been poor this season, and I think that's been really surprising to me. So hopefully this adjustment, brings him back to his usual self, and he's able to have more competitive at bats, like you said, at the major league level.
Because there is pop in that swing.
Mm-hmm.
He's not asking him. Yeah, he's huge. You're not asking him to hit 20 home runs a year, but you're asking him to put the ball in play, and he just wasn't doing that before. This was the Billy McKinney debut. He went 2 for 4, Billy barrels, and then Joey Bart collected 2 hits. As a team, 9 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 for 4 runners in scoring position, and 7 left on base. Most notably, you had the all-star outfield of Brian Reynolds, G1 Bay, and Billy McKinney.
I can't believe G1 Bay is still up here, but
I mean, the defensive run saved. I mean, geez, oh man, it's not pretty out there. If you told me at the beginning of the year it was going to be Reynolds, Bay, and McKinney, I'd say maybe we shouldn't do this.
I'd say put an iron dome over the outfield.
It's really bad, man. It is. Long story short, they lost this game 4-3. Scott, let's go to Tuesday, where they actually, I think, had one of their most complete games of the year.
Tuesday, better known as the Mitch Keller game. The Pirates shut out the Rangers 4-0. Mitch Keller had his most impressive outing, I think, of the year. He's had some really competitive outings, going deep in more outings than not this year. But this one was especially efficient, I should say. 7 innings. Robotic. Yeah, man. He just looked unbelievable. Like peak Mitch Keller, 7 innings pitched, 3 hits, no earned runs, no walks. That's a big one for him. And 9 Ks. He generated 13 whiffs. Man, this is a scary rotation. I'm having some dreams about what this rotation could be next year, given the guys are in AAA. But Mitch Keller being in the middle or at the end of that rotation is just laughable, man. Like, put the league on notice now.
Oh my god! I mean, shout out Jack McMullen and Just Baseball. The
Yeah.
call up interviewed Bubba Chandler and Thomas Harrington. Go check that out.
Go check
Awesome
that
interview.
out.
Those guys have high baseball IQs. They're athletic. They know what they're doing. They have a good feel for the game. And listening to that interview, it's like, it's got me fired up.
I finished that interview like not long before we started recording, and that's the thing that stuck out to me the most is like these guys aren't just like just your normal everyday athlete. They have a high IQ when it comes to pitching, and putting them with Jones and Skeens and Keller, man, like it's gonna be it's gonna put asses in the seats next year. I'll just tell you that much. I'm really excited for it. There's also Mike Burrows. Don't forget about Mike Burrows. So but to continue, on Tuesday, Chapman came in, got his 20th hold of the year, through an inning. He's been spectacular this last month. They might regret not moving him at the deadline, but hey, they were going for it. Bednar, 1 inning pitch, 1K, looked better on Tuesday. Cruz went 2 for 3 with a triple and an RBI and a stolen base, his 14th of the year. He's quietly batting .262. I'll take that from Cruz every year. I'm not going to lie.
How about this, though? O'Neal Cruz off of lefties in August is hitting 538, 600, 820, 226 OPS.
Shelty, keep him in there.
Off of lefties. He's made another guy that's made an adjustment.
Huge.
He's not he doesn't look lost up there. He in August he also has a 114 WRC plus. That's
huge. That's absolutely huge. Yeah, he's had a good year. Like, I think his ceiling's even higher than what his stats show this year. But like, I'll take this, man. This has been a positive year for O'Neal, with some speed bumps, of course. But then we had Brian De La Cruz. He went 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. He drove in 2 of the 4 yesterday. And Rowdy had a pinch hit double. I have no idea how he hit this pitch. I texted you that. That's when I turned on the game yesterday. He golfed this ball like off his shoelaces over the Adolis's head. Not the best.
Yeah, man, he's rough out there.
Yeah. I mean, him and Brian De La Cruz.
Has Adolis I thought he was playing left field for a long time.
He might have been, but I think right field for the majority of his time at the Rangers.
Okay, I mean, it did not look good.
Nah, yeah, he's a DH sooner rather than later. But anyway, 7 hits total in this game, 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, 4 left on base, 10 Ks. Gotta win. That brings us into today's game, which was midday in Texas.
Domingo Germán pitched. It was kind of a masterclass. I mean, he pitched extremely well. I am just talking about today's performance. Again, I'm not going to say it every single time. I don't think we have to.
Yeah.
But 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's got a 1.5 ERA, 11 whiffs, only hit hard 4 times. His changeup was gross.
Yeah.
It always has been.
Yep.
That's kind of his go-to. 50% out of the zone swing rate on the changeup, 82% swing rate on the changeup in the zone, with up to 36 inches in vertical break.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, good luck. Like, if you're a lefty, him starting that pitch on the outside, you can't touch it. It fades out of the zone.
Go watch clips of his perfect game against the A's last year. That changeup was the best I've seen it in a long. I'm sure it was good yesterday too. I saw some clips, but yeah, this is bread and butter, man.
I mean, when he's at the peak of his game, this is why he's a professional.
Yep.
That being said, absolutely no control of the run game. A combination of him and Yasmani Grandal is just free bases all day. You're turning everybody into Ricky Henderson here, because I think they had like 3 or 4 stolen bases. I mean, Grandal is bad enough back there when it comes to controlling runners, but Germán did not pay attention whatsoever. Not that it had much of an impact. This was a 0-0 ball game going into the 9th. Kyle Nicholas, Chapman, and Bednar were the bullpen. Kyle Nicholas was absolutely filthy. Chapman had 3 strikeouts. Bednar, as we discussed earlier, not great. I'm not going to put all this on Bednar.
Yeah. And the offense has to score runs.
Got to score runs. Yeah, I mean, yeah. And IKF had a rough, he makes that play 10 out of 10 times usually. And Rowdy kind of got caught flat-footed, and the whole inning was just not good. That being said, he's got to be better. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 1 earned, and a strikeout. 2 times they had the bases loaded in this game, Scott.
Yep.
One of them was with 1 out. Yasmani Grandal hit into a double play. While I'm on Yasmani Grandal, maybe the slowest human being of all time.
Slower than me.
Yeah, Scott is so slow. Scott,
I have flat feet, guys. Just giving some context.
He's got like a size 15 foot, and it's just he's running with planks out there. Yasmani Grandal might be slower. It's rough to watch because he struck a ball well into the left field gap, and it was the longest single I've ever seen.
Should me and Grandal do a race for like, I don't know, like a rabies run for the cure or something like that? Like me versus Yasmani Grandal along the river.
I don't think he's showing up.
No, for sure.
He's going on vacation, and he's not going to be here for much longer. But it was that, and then he was on first base, and there was a single, and he couldn't make it to third on a ball you absolutely need to make it to third on. So it's all around bad. But really, what really got me, man, was just, again, runners in scoring position, 0 for 6, 10 left on base. Shelton mentioned it after the game. He's like, yeah, of course you're not winning games with 10 guys left on base. We do this every week.
Shelton,
we've been on this podcast where they've left 16 runners on base.
There's a reason why we tell you the runners in scoring position, left on base stats every freaking game.
Yeah, we're not obsessed with it. It's just it's trended in that direction where you have to bring it up because it's insane. It's crazy. 16 strikeouts on this one.
That's
Andrew Heaney he had 13 losses, the most in Major League Baseball going into this. He had 8 strikeouts, 15 whiffs.
Let me just tell you, Andrew Heaney does not have he can be deceptive with that low 3/4 slot from the left side, but he does not have bat missing stuff.
No, not even close, man. This is the back end of the rotation for them. 16 strikeouts, only 2 walks, 8 hits, 0 for 6 runners in scoring position, 10 left on base. Connor Joe is in the lineup today. There's a lot of people screaming, why doesn't Connor Joe play often? That's why. Connor Joe has been
Isn't
exposed.
this him? Can we talk about this for a second? Isn't this Connor Joe every year?
Yeah.
I feel like he looks like Pete Rose for 2 months, and then he'll hit 230 on the year.
Yeah, I mean, there was a time during the season where I'm like, hey, maybe the first base debacle isn't such a huge issue moving forward. If Connor Joe is going to be that type of hitter, stick him over there. He plays fine defense. Yeah. It's not great. I mean, he doesn't have the most elegant footwork, but if he can hit, why not? Very mistaken. Very, very. I fell for the trap. I'll probably fall for it again next year.
Is he under contract next year?
Yeah, I believe so. Which I don't think he's a bad guy to have on the team.
No.
He's the Pirates' wet dream, right? You could play him in the outfield. You could play him in the infield. It's just that the at-bats have been uncompetitive, and
I like having that combo of a guy that can play middle infield and outfield and corners and outfield. I like having that combo. So he provides that. But if we can upgrade there, all for it.
Yeah, we'll see, man. Overall, just kind of your typical Pirates series. I caught myself. I was about to say one that they should have won.
Proud of you, man. It's progress.
They do have a 4-game series at PNC Park, which we will be at 3 of the 4 games.
If not 4, possibly 4.
If not 4. A lot of good pitching matchups here. Always when you play the Reds, it's going to be an interesting series. It's going to be competitive. This Reds team's not great. They just lost Hunter Green, who was having an incredible year. Probably his best year as a pro. They're 61-65, 4th in the Central, 12.5 back, 6.5 out of the wild card. So they're a little bit closer than the Pirates. They've been playing close to 500 ball in August. They kind of just hover that line. I want to win the series, obviously. I'm very uncomfortable just saying like, hey, this is one that they should win.
Yeah. Well, like you said, so this is we're both at the bottom of the division. As of right now, the last time I checked, they were losing. We're recording on a Wednesday night. They were losing by 1. I don't know where they're at right now, but they're 61 and 65. We're 2 games behind them in the standings. We're 5th or 4th. So yeah, this series, like if you care about finishing 4th, 3rd, not last in the division, I mean, I guess any division series, right, is going to be a gauntlet, is going to be a dogfight. We got some good pitching matchups too, man. I'm excited. I think I genuinely believe that we're the better team.
Good for you.
Is that crazy?
No, I mean, what's crazy at this point?
I know. I do like, I do like some of the guys on their team. Hunter Green's on the IL. Their rotation's kind of taking a hit right now. With Hunter Green on the IL, he's had like a Cy Young type season. Lodolo's in a rut, his worst rut as a pro so far, and I really like Nick Lodolo. Abbott has been up and down in the past month. Spears has struggled recently. He's bounced between that starting role and the long man role in the bullpen. And they recently recalled this Aguiar. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly. Julian Aguiar. He was a top pitching prospect for them. Not like top, but like number 7 in the system. He just debuted. He's only has 1 start under his belt. We could possibly see him in the 3rd game on Saturday. But they didn't let him go through the order 3 times. So like pitching's in a tough spot, which you would think, let's take advantage of that. But our offense has been bad.
Yeah. So. And the last time they faced Lodolo was not pretty.
No.
I don't know if you recall that. Bailey Falter also, it was a Bailey Falter Lodolo matchup. Lodolo went 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, gave up a home run. You know who that home run was given up to?
Key Brian Hayes.
Oh, yeah. Get your keys out, baby. And he walked nobody. So that was he got off to a great start this year.
Yeah.
Lodolo was awesome. The second half has not been as great. He's got a 4.55 ERA right now. He's still producing a lot of ground balls. He's got a fastball that he throws 43.3% of the time. And then he's got the curveball, changeup, and sinker. It's going to work in on righties.
Yep.
The fastball is heavy usage on righties, in the zone, in and up. That's where the heat map shows. That's where he's most successful with it. But you have to take advantage of the misses here. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you guys remember, just throwing a little bit of history back there. Nick Lodolo was drafted by the Pirates out of high school. He was a high pick by the Pirates, and he chose to go to TCU instead. So we'll get that revenge on him. But I'm a big fan of his arsenal. His last month has not been pretty. He dealt at the end of June. I think it was after the start against the Pirates. He went on the IL and he had with a blister issue. And since he's gotten off the IL with that blister issue, he has no feel for his breaking ball. And that's his bread and butter. I mean, he throws that curveball 27% of the time, over a quarter of the time. And that's his he's reliant on chase from that breaking ball. He gets a lot of movement east to west. And if he doesn't have that, he's got to generate misses with his fastball. So if I'm going into this game, we got to jump on that fastball early, man.
Absolutely. He's got reverse splits too, which is interesting. Righties are hitting 228, 306, 409. Lefties are hitting 266, 356, 291. So they're not slugging as much, the lefties, but definitely a higher average. So maybe Cruz is able to get things going here. He's also getting barreled at a significantly higher rate than he has all his career at 8.4%. If you're getting barreled, like good barrel is like 7 to like 10%. Anything above that, I think, is like considered elite if you're barreling at like 10 to 15%. So getting 8.4 is pretty high. Like you said, got to jump on him early. That's going to be a good matchup. You got Skeens versus Lodolo. Hopefully they can get some run support on Thursday. The Reds have not released the rest of the starting pitching, but we have gone through their entire rotation and we've kind of predicted where they're going to land, or at least who you're going to see, right? You mentioned Abbott earlier. We project him to pitch on Friday versus Bailey Falter. Why don't you walk us through Andrew Abbott real quick?
Yeah, just a side note too. We start off against two lefties that you said Nick Lodolo has reverse splits, which surprises me because he's got that deceptive like arm slot from the left side, and so does Andrew Abbott. And I wonder if they're going to put O'Neill in the lineup both those days. Guarantee you they're not going to.
I think you have. I mean, you have to.
You have to, but will they?
Yeah,
we'll see.
Who knows?
But Andrew Abbott is a little bit on him. He's a rare success story from UVA. UVA is known for having a good baseball program, but their pitchers always burn out when they get to the pros because of how they're used there. He's been solid. He's a solid mid to end rotation guy. This year, 10-10 with a 3.72 ERA in 25 games, 114 Ks. His last 7 games have been a little bit up and down. He's 1-4 with a 5.66 ERA and 35 innings pitched, 22 earned runs, 32 Ks, and 14 walks. He limits hard hits. He's going to generate ground balls. He relies heavily on 2 pitches, his fastball and his sweeper. His changeup is average. It's gotten better since he's become a pro. But since he only has that fastball and sweeper, he has limited weapons against right-handed hitters. So that's why they've really been focusing on the development of that changeup so he can get something going the opposite direction from a right-handed batter. He throws his fastball over 50% of the time, and it sits about 93. His sweeper's at 83. He throws it about 20% of the time, and his changeup he throws about 15. He has not faced the Pirates this year, so this will be a first time seeing him. Again, I think you really have to, with him too, you have to jump on the fastball because he really only has 2 pitches. So if you jump on him early, they're not going to make him go through a lineup more than 2 times.
A little bit opposite of Lodolo in terms of where he's locating. He tries to stay up and away with the fastball. He is also getting barreled 9.3% of the time. So like you said, jump out early in counts, get the fastball. You know you're going to see it at some point. The sweeper is a little bit kind of like backdoor or back foot sweeper, at least on righties. And then with lefties, it's going to start middle and then break away. Throws it for a strike. He's going to throw both of them for a strike. So it's got to be patient. I think you just kind of sit fastball here, but also a decent matchup, but you're going to get Bailey Falter on this one too. So
that'll be a fun one. Yeah.
Lefty on lefty. And then Saturday is going to be Jake Woodford versus Julian Aguiar. Again, not sure. Aguiar. 5-4, 3.79 ERA in 22 games. He's got 95 strikeouts, 1.21 WHIP in
those are his minor
AA and AAA. Yeah, I was gonna say that. So not a lot of major league experience here. He's a 2021 12th round pick from Cypress Junior College in California. He's listed as the 7th prospect in the red system for Fangraphs and 16 according to MLB Pipeline. His first start was against the Blue Jays. He went 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 2 Ks. Fastball sits 93, 96. He's got a slider and a changeup, I believe.
Yep.
And then fastball, glove side, sinking action makes it a little bit less apparent, I would say.
Yeah. He doesn't miss a lot of bats because of his fastball movement. Yeah.
Right. So again, you're not getting Hunter Green here. You're not getting anyone who's going to blow it by you. So you got to put the ball in play. Above average command allows him to set up his plus low 80 slider. The breaking ball shape varies whether he wants to throw it for a strike or chase. Low 80s changeup gives him an arm side weapon to fill east and west repertoire. So other side is Jake Woodford. So you're probably going to kick the ball around a lot. And
so this is a guy that's going to fill the zone, right? Like I think Jake Woodford's going to probably do that too in a way. So yeah, man, like this is kind of Andy Haynes' worst nightmare. He likes guys to see as many pitches as possible, but like in this case, you really can't. All I'm seeing here is that we got to jump on the pitching early and often. That's what I would be doing in my scouting report.
Sure. Well, it's not like they're walking.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But like, you're not going to be able to see a lot of pitches with him. Like your best pitch might be your first pitch. Like he sounds like he's the type of guy that likes to get ahead early and stay ahead. And because he doesn't have stuff, he doesn't have 100-mile-an-hour fastball, right? He's going to carve you up. So maybe jump on that first pitch fastball down the middle. But yeah, interesting prospect here, man. I mean, it sounds like he varies the shape of his breaking ball based on whether he wants you to chase or land it in there for a strike. So it could be more sliderish or curveballish, but that'll be an interesting matchup. Let's go into Sunday's potential matchup. This is TBD as well. Luis Ortiz is not TBD. He's going to be the starter for the Pirates on Sunday, which is Italian Heritage Night for all you people that don't know in PNC Park. So all you Paisans, get out to PNC Park on Sunday. I'll be there.
That's a free spaghetti giveaway.
I'll be there with my bag of meatballs. The projected starter as of now for the Reds would be Carson Spears. We've faced him actually already. He's faced the Pirates twice, actually within the same week in June. He went 6 innings in both outings, gave up 7 hits in both outings, so we can hit him. 4 earned runs in the first, 3 earned runs in the second, 1 walk in both, and 5 Ks in both. So pretty similar outings. I think we can get we have a good feel for him. He's 4-5 with a 5.43 ERA in 15 games this year with 64 Ks. If you go to his Baseball Savant page, it's all blue, man. It's not pretty except for his walk percentage. So again, another guy who fills up the zone. He's not going to walk a lot of guys. There's not a lot of variance in speeds between his pitches. Like his 4 seams at 92 on average, throws it 28% of the time. He throws the kitchen sink at you here, man. The sweeper throws 21% of the time, is at 81. That's the biggest difference in velocity, is about 10 miles an hour. He throws 2 other forms of fastballs. He throws a cut fastball that sits around 88 and a sinker that sits around 92. And then he has his changeup that sits at 87. So, man, you're not seeing a big difference in speed here.
Just going to keep you off balance.
He's going to keep you off balance. He's going to give you multiple looks. He's going to change your eye level. He throws multiple pitches, but not one pitch is going to be plus, right? It's not going to incite fear in any of the opposing hitters. He's more of a 5 starter or a long man. This is a game where I think Luis Ortiz is going to get some run support. Hopefully, don't want to say that with certainty, but I'm kind of confident in these matchups going into this week. I think these are guys outside of Lodolo. Obviously, Lodolo, given his pedigree and success, he's a guy that I think could give us trouble if he's back to his normal self. Other than that, man, I think the bats should be buzzing this weekend at PNC.
You want to hear something hilarious? So if you go on Baseball Savant, they always have like comparisons, and you could break it down any way you want. Similar pitchers to Carson Spears based on velocity and movement.
Oh God, I'm scared.
One of them is Jake Woodford.
Okay. Nice.
Get ready for this. The other one is Michael King.
What?
Yeah.
Michael King,
who's like a Cy Young candidate. So how that works, I got to look into that. That's crazy.
I want to know what those comparisons are based on.
The other pitchers on here are Kyle Gibson and Colin Ray.
Okay, so Kyle Gibson makes sense. Colin Ray, I don't know like too much. He's had a really good year in Milwaukee. Michael King is just like he throws the bowling ball at you, and like he's got so much movement on every pitch. This guy just seems like he's like a pitcher overthrower, long man, like doesn't have anything overpowering. Like Michael King has some nasty shit. Also, that's incredible. I want to hear the logic behind those comparisons, but just a little bit of a scouting report on this offense. Heimer Candelario and Christian Encarnacion Strand are on the IL, so they're missing those guys. The usual, they have Ellie De La Cruz. I think the main point for this, the Pirates scouting report going into this series, is to keep him off the bases, which is easier said than done, right? because he's a threat as soon as he gets on the bases. He's had a similar year to O'Neill, but he's much more athletic and aggressive on the bases. 258 average, 21 homers, 59 stolen bases, just absurd. 825 OPS. He's had a very good year, but he leads the league in errors with 26. O'Neill's second with 24. So yeah, keeping him off the bases, man. You gotta. I think you can pitch around him a little bit. This lineup doesn't really incite a lot of fear in opposing pitchers. I mean, you got Jonathan India, you got Spencer Steer, you've got Tyler Stevenson, who had a good stretch here recently. TJ Friedel, but I think not enough to not pitch around him. So I assume they're gonna be careful with him.
Yeah, Jonathan India has also had a really good past 7 games. He's hitting 385. He also just kills the Pirates, man.
Oh, he does, yeah.
I think specifically he kills Mitch Keller a lot.
He would look good in a Pirates uniform.
He kind of looks like a Pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take Jonathan India. Well, before we close out, just want a couple mentions. Jared Jones made his 3rd rehab start in Indianapolis. He had 10 punchies. He looked absolutely ready to go. Nick Gonzalez was also there. Ryan Barucki made an appearance. Holderman made an appearance. Am I missing one more?
No, I think that's it.
Majinski.
Oh, yeah.
So you could expect, I don't know, maybe they're going to wait on Jones until they get through this part of the rotation so they can make some other corresponding moves. But I'd expect to see Nick Gonzalez pretty soon. Hopefully Ryan Barucki, at least he can have somewhat of a normal end to the year. We can see what we have there. And then getting Majinski will help kind of shore up that bullpen on the back end. And then we'll see how Colin Holderman plays out. But Scott, this is all really exciting stuff.
Yeah, man, this was awesome recording in this new format this week. Got a big series coming up this weekend in Pittsburgh. I feel like the Pirates haven't been home in a while, so I'm excited to get back to the ballpark. We haven't been there in a while, and excited to do mini mic content and the whole 9 yards. So if you're at PNC, give us a shout. Come find us, and let's raise it.
Let's raise it.
Question mark.
All right. See you guys next week.
Rockin' 101, shit, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Or the steak by the plates and